Hello, I am back finally doing another excerpt from Octavia E. Butler's A Few Rules for Predicting the Future. I did a short version of this a few weeks ago, and this is a pretty condensed book. It's a short read, so I think I might just kind of go through the rest of it in just this longer form video. I don't think I will finish it, but we'll see. We'll see how long this takes. So we're going to begin with this chapter, learn from the past. Learn from the past. Some water on my shirt. And I really like this artwork. All the chapters have this like transitional artwork that's really beautiful. And the artist for this book is Manzel Bowman. So shout out to them. All right, let's start. Octavia writes, "Of course, writing novels about the future doesn't give me any special ability to foretell the future, but it does encourage me to use our past and present behaviors as guides to the kind of world we seem to be creating. The past, for example, is filled with repeating cycles of strength and weakness, wisdom and stupidity, empire and ashes. To study history is to study humanity, and to try to foretell the future without studying history is like trying to learn to read without bothering to learn the alphabet." When I was preparing to write Parable of the Talents, I needed to think about how a country might slide into fascism, something that America does in Talents. So I reread The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich and other books on Nazi Germany. I was less interested in the fighting of World War II than the pre-war story of how Germany changed as it suffered social and economic problems, as Hitler and others bludgeoned and seduced, as the Germans responded to the bludgeoning and the seduction and to their own history, and as Hitler used that history to manipulate them. I wanted to understand the lies that people have to tell themselves when they either quietly or joyfully watch their neighbors ruined, spirited away, killed. Different versions of this horror have happened again and again in history. They're still happening in places like Rwanda, Bosnia, Kosovo, and East Timor. Wherever one group of people permits its leaders to convince them that for their own protection, for the safety of their families and the security of their country, they must get their enemies, those alien others who until now were their neighbors. It's easy enough to spot this horror when it happens elsewhere in the world or elsewhere in time. But if we are to spot it here at home, to spot it before it can grow and do its worst, we must pay more attention to history. This came home to me a few years ago when I lived across the street from a 15-year-old girl whose grandfather asked me to help her with her homework. The girl was doing a report on a man who had fled Europe during the 1930s because of some people called, she hesitated, and then pronounced a word that was clearly unfamiliar to her, the Nazis. It took me a moment to realize that she meant Nazis and that she knew absolutely nothing about them. We forget history at our peril. All right. Next chapter, respect the law of consequences. I just recently complained to my doctor that the medicine he prescribed had a very annoying side effect. I can give you something to counteract that, my doctor said. A medicine to counteract the effects of another medicine, I asked. He nodded. It will be more comfortable for you. I began to backpedal. I hate to take medicine. The problem isn't that bad, I said. I can deal with it. You don't have to worry, my doctor said. The second medication works and there are no side effects. That stopped me. It made me absolutely certain that I didn't want the second medicine. I realized that I didn't believe that there were any medications that had no side effects. In fact, I don't believe we can do anything at all without side effects, also known as unintended consequences. Those consequences may be beneficial or harmful. They may be too slight to matter, or they may be worth the risk because the potential benefits are great. But the consequences are always there. In Parable of the Sower, my character put it this way: all that you touch, you change. All that you change, changes you. The only lasting truth is change. God is change.